Folks, I was trying to do this yesterday, but my brother-in-law dropped my nephew, so I couldn't finish up on it. But since it's about 3:20 now, going on 3:20 that is, I thought I'd talk out a little bit now, while I still have the time. You see, what I was trying to say yesterday, before the interruption, was, we have had movies and stuff, comedic movies, and that. Well, basically, we've had all sorts of comedic genre kind of like movies where it's like something is the central reason. Is basically you know, the main reason for the comedic outburst in the movie and all that. Um, you got things like Haunted House. This is the End, which is coming soon. Um, the Scary Movie series. Stuff. Things like that. And mainly, all they are is nothing more than parodies, spoofs on current film classic. I mean, not film classics, but film genres and stuff that people are fans of. So here's here's the thing about that. We always seem to get some of those year after year. And it is one of the more popular comedic genres to go after, the spoofs. But there's also another very popular one that works into a comedic role. Um, this one works into the comedic role of basically using sci-fi to help it along. You see, another popular genre, if you will, another popular comedic genre, but that gets the help of sci-fi or science fiction, is something that when there's nothing else to kind of write about, no other kind of story you could think of, this is one of those genres that they go back to and write a whole new original story around it. And of course, I'm talking about invisibility. Now, we all know the history about invisibility in movies. We know that it started with The Invisible Man, which was a horror thriller, and then it got a comedic spin-off with The Invisible Woman. And then you had other kind of invisibility stuff throughout the 40s and things, like, the Topper series, and whatnot. You even, let's see, you even had Disney do it with one of the Kurt Russell movies. And then, in the 1980s, you had NBC do a 2-hour movie. Have them do a 2-hour movie which was going to be the base pilot, if you will, of a television series, of a comedic television series for them. And that was The Invisible Woman in 1983. But unfortunately, that didn't come to pass. But the movie still exists, some ways. Then, a few years later down the line, you had one of my personal favorite movies, which I didn't even know about until I saw it on Showtime back in the late 90s, of all things. And that is The Invisible Kid, starring Jay Underwood and Wilson Phillips' own China Phillips. And then, of course, we had Memoirs of an Invisible Man with Chevy Chase, and the list goes on. You had direct-to-video, semi-theatrical, but mostly direct-to-video movies like Invisible Mom 1 and 2, and stuff like that. I mean, heck, you even have an entire website of some kind around here on the internet that's dedicated to invisibility. But you see, as much attention as that gets, and as much attention as the spoofs get, if you know what I mean, the spoof general gets, there's one that I feel really needs to have an opportunity. It needs to be given an opportunity because comedic wise, it would work out tremendously. I mean, you really want to have a comedic slapstick to it. This would work out tremendously. And what I'm talking about is something that is used in movies at times. Mostly, and I'm not trying to be, not trying to be rude here or anything, but mostly used by women. And it's mostly used by women. And sometimes when you look it up, the percentages women use this or do this more often than men. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about bubble baths. That's right. And I think a comedic movie with a female lead based around bubble baths would work out tremendously. I'm not lying. All you'd have to do is find that right female lead, whoever it may be, and have her character be someone that just loves to take bubble baths. That anytime she sees a tub or of any kind, mostly the luxury tubs, the big jacuzzis and things, she loves to go in those and take bubble baths. Because this would be the thing for the character. She would think basically she's the queen of the bubble baths. That she's the queen. And that she likes to take a bubble bath, and the biggest bubble bath she can ever make. Like sometimes, like I could see one scene in a movie, in a movie based around this, where she would create a bubble bath, let's say in a jacuzzi or a hot tub, or any luxury tub, that would be so high that, like, let's say, if somebody was to walk in, or you would just see it from a camera angle, and all you would see is just her head sticking out, and she's staring up at this big old thing. And then another thing about this is that she likes to submerge. She would like to submerge completely under it. Think, like Pretty Woman, if you will. The scene in Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts. Basically, she would like to sink under it all the time and then pop up completely covered in bubbles. And act like she's the queen. And then go back under and then kind of rinse herself off. Kind of like that. Sort of like it's an addiction. A comedic addiction, if you know what I mean. To where she just loves to take a bubble bath. And again, one of the things I think would be a great scenario, a comedic what's the name again? I can't even think of the name. Comedic addition to the plot is she would basically, like I say, she would see something like a big jacuzzi or a big hot tub or whatever, and she would use that. Now, I know some of you might think, well, yeah, that might work, but why would anybody want to go see a movie based on that? Well, come on, let's face it. There's movies being cranked out just about almost everything else. Why wouldn't people want to go see a movie based on that? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got movies based on people, on things that are so ridiculous. People will come out of the theater and think, why did they make a movie on that? It doesn't make any sense. And to me, if people are willing to see movies that when they would come out wondering why that movie was even made based around, why they made a movie based around that, then I definitely think a comedic movie based around a woman who loves to take bubble baths, kind of like a bubble bath addiction. That like I said, let's say she sees big jacuzzis and tubs, and she likes to fill them up to where the bubble baths are so like high and all that. It high to the point that when she goes under, it's like, okay, let's say one scene she does what I said, makes one so high that when she submerges under, she'll emerge inside the bubbles, and you'll just see like some kind of a white silhouette and all that. And to me, that would make for a good romantic scene. Like let's say she has a love interest who's trying to help her, but kind of understands why she doesn't. You could have something like she'll go under this big towering thing of suds and then pop up in a silhouette in between the tubs. Or she'll basically, okay, I'm getting a little tongue tied here. She'll basically go under, like submerge, go under the water, under the suds, pop up in the middle of this towering sud thing, if you know what I mean. Well, you should see a silhouette. And to me, this would make a good comedic romantic scene, because in that way she'll pop out her hands and she'll kind of give him like the come hither gesture, or kind of like do a little bit of a thing with her hands and do that come hither gesture, and then there you go. That would work out great. And then you could just shut the door, and there you go. You go to the next scene. Hold on for a second. Boy, timing is, he did it again. But that's about what my idea would be. So let me know what you guys think of it, and I'll talk to you later.